How are you? Oh, I'm so glad that you and I get to be together. It's a sunny day here in my office, and today's conversation is self-sabotage, and self-sabotage also that leads to victim. So, one of the things that I remind everyone as they're going through prosperity mentality, and when you're kind of doing the work of really looking at your behaviors, your emotions, you're starting to add up many parts of prosperity mindset. Remember, prosperity is the ability to magnify. So we are trying to really understand who you are and what you're doing and how you're processing the world because you're magnifying from one point. And if that one point is victim, you're not going to enjoy this ride. So you're really trying to understand what is the point that I am magnifying from? And you want to be magnifying from a place that's healthy and loving and bright and that's the right fit for you. So when we talk about self-sabotage, it is oftentimes that people are self-sabotaging towards victim and victim and that self-sabotage is loss. It's, how do I know? How do I know you're self-sabotaging? Well, because you're missing in action, that you're not showing up to all the parts of you, you're not showing up to your own life, that when you are self-sabotaging, you are one, suffering, you are injuring you, and it is that also that you are getting angry and you're ticking off because it's no fun. And when we look at that, when we look at them as taught roles, when we look at the role of sabotage itself, when we look at the opposite of that, it's a lot. It's a lot. So as we're talking today, this conversation when I'm live in class is the one that ticks you guys off the most. Uh, it is also the one that is the most thoughtful and kind that I could think of to have. And that is to really attach when you are identifying that you are doing self-sabotage, I need you to understand, are you sabotaging in victim mode? And those two things have a game that they play in your life all the time because I am a female bodied person. So there are many, many roles that I was taught as victim. And one of those would be like babe in the woods. Oh, I can't do it possibly, right? Or or just that weakling, that I'm not strong, that I'm hiding, so forth. Men are taught it very differently. They're taught to be in your face, kind of mocking, judging, ridiculing, that they play victim differently. But these are all victim roles that will self sabotage you. So sometimes when we look at self sabotage, I do need you to measure this victim role. Is this a taught role that you are playing? For myself, um, I realized I I do a lot of introspection, but for myself, I saw it as going, I can't do that, uh, being afraid of the dark. When was I taught? And sometimes the things that I was taught as victim role was also to keep me safe. Okay, don't walk alone. Don't walk alone. So there are many ways when you're thinking about victim, it's not that you are making a bad choice. It is also that many times these are taught roles. And for women, you are often taught to be weaker and you are taught to be that person who goes, oh, I can't possibly do that. Like pick up a tool. What? Uh, uh, right? That if you see yourself not opting in, right? When you go, how do I know that you're sabotaging? When you're missing in action. So if you are not willing to opt into many parts of your own life, you're sabotaging. Think about it. Think about it. So we also have this role of sabotage that's also this role that as a female bodied person, I am often asked to do, which is right to make myself the sacrificial lamb. And we have seen this in thousands of ways of right that we just be the bigger person. Uh, what's the word? A peace offering, right? That I'll send over a peace offering just to see. And when we look at this in female leadership, we see that peacekeeping effort often given to women because they put themselves in that sacrificial space. It's very different for men. Men as a peacekeeper is very different. They are aligning, saying, here's what we're having. They're not ever asked to sacrifice themselves. And we are often putting ourselves into that role where we are sabotaging ourselves by just putting ourselves last, by being the sacrifice. And that part is often seen as servant, as menial, as I'll do the small tasks, or or the other role is just that I'm just the slogger. I'm just going to keep processing this stuff, right? If you've ever been to a state office where they deal with people all the time, that you see people who are in that victim role where they are constantly just kind of slogging through the work, just getting through the day. My 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 break is at 10:15 and just trying to get through the work, just trying to get through the day, right? Just trying to do that because somehow life is put upon them and it is too hard. And then you see the opposite side of that, right? Because wherever one pendulum swings, it's going to go to the other side. And what's the other side of victim? It's perpetrator. It's the bully. It's the aggressor. And when you look at the roles that you see everywhere, every piece of pornography, every movie, every story, you see these two parts of this swing, right? I mean, it's pervasive in our culture of victim, aggressor, victim, aggressor, victim, aggressor. And we also see that as all of the game playing that people do, invading, teasing, judging. It's all forms of sabotage. It's all sabotage. So you have to look at what can I do that doesn't sabotage other people, that doesn't play in the victim roles, that doesn't, swing it the other way. And that is really working on repair, working on virtue, working on devotion, working on the things for you. And so with whatever I'm saying, if you're starting to get a clue, if something is kind of clicking off for you, one of the things that I remind people about I got a clue of this thing that I was saying. Remember, a clue is an interior piece of information. The opposite of in clue, if you look up clue, what is the opposite? It is exterior. So a lot of times when we're not listening to our interior, it's that the exterior is saying, hey, all of this is here. You're not able to find what you need. If you want a clue on how to move forward, you have to listen to the interior. You have to listen to you. And you have to be able to be your own best supporter. And the longer we hang out, I'm hoping that you will love to love yourself differently, that you will love to love yourself in a way that feels like relief, that you can go, oh, I'm home. Let me just love myself for a minute. Let me look for the good deed I can do. Let me look for the devotion that I need to build the things that are beautiful in the world. And this isn't just a pie in the sky thing. I make no mistake that I am here to build peace in the world, that I really do like that we can have a peaceful dialogue, even if we do not agree. You and I will not agree on everything in the world. And that is not the intention. We are not here to agree. We are here to not play victim and perpetrator. We are here to not play victim and perpetrator. So when you are constantly playing that role, it's always about sabotage. And that is the opposite. That is the exterior portion of where you have to go and where you want to magnify from. You want to magnify from a place that says you are valuable. You will fight for you, that you will work to repair things for you. You are there to assist in your own dreams, in your own vision. You are there to assist. And when we look at sabotage, the opposite is assist. Let us let us be better. Let us try a little harder. So this week, as you're thinking about the assignments this week, that's really what we're talking about is self-sabotage and victimness. And how are they related in your life? What does that mean? How many times are you suffering? How many times are you feeling injured? How many times are you noticing that you have lost or that you are just MIA? So when are you sabotaging? And that sabotage, you want to attach it to victim. And the other thing is that sabotage for some people of you, that looks like angry, that looks like terse, that looks like annoyed, that looks like a lot of things. But the fact is that we have to look at those roles. Were you taught that? And what is the role that you take on? So is it something that you were taught? And what are the roles that you assign yourself? So very many female bodied people put themselves last, and they will take that servant role, that they will be the person that does anything, right? When we look at that in sexuality, when we look at that in a lot of the things that we are looking at, there's no yoni magic there, right? That when you are looking at victimhood or less than or servant or you must serve me, that is again about victim and non-victim. So bully, agitator, aggressor, 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 aggressor. Do you want to be pulling out in the world that way? Most people don't. I haven't, in 25 years, I haven't found somebody that says, oh yeah, my pot, the place I want to start magnifying from in the world, oh yeah, let me just do that as an aggressive jerk. No, that most of the time you have to decide, what is this point? What is this one dot that the rest of your life will magnify from? And across the board, over many years, most people say they would like that to come from peace or love or genuineness. It can be a lot of things, but that is what you're looking for in prosperity mentality. So this week, take some time, look at that role, look at that what you were taught, look at if you're the opposite, and then really start to identify the pieces that you're willing to find virtue in, that you are going to find grace and honor and strength in becoming and the part of you that you think is the most valuable. And you are valuable. You are valuable. You wouldn't be here if you weren't, because that's just what ends up happening. So I want to remind you, I'm really glad you're in class. I'm really glad that you're following along. And I'm really glad that you're going to probably take a little time and go through that journal this week and really look at self-sabotage from that victim space, because it will offer you a gold mine on how to move forward. And that I really like for you. And I also like it for me. When I have to do the same work, make no mistake, all of the things that you are doing in class, I had to do too. I just wished that I'd had a me when I was you, because it would have been a lot faster. And you're going to do a great job because you're already doing a great job. So I will see you here again. But of course, the place I want to see you is live in class. So if I have to see you here, that's great. I'm glad. Leave a comment. Tell us what you're thinking. Come back. Tell us what's going on. So if I see you here, that is great. That is good. That is good. It's good enough. But I'd love to see you live. So I hope I get to see you real time and put my arms around you and remind you that I think that this is important work and that you're putting in the time, and that feels beautiful. All right. Have a great day.